Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys all had an absolutely phenomenal morning. I trust you guys were all in script class. You guys did scripts and role play? I know some of you guys were up early. I'm glad. I know you guys are going over the forbearance script right now, which is a really powerful conversation piece. And when I go through the weekly stats today, I'm also going to be going over a couple things from the mortgage monitor and why making sure we're having conversations, not just around the forbearances, but that we're reaching out to our clients, to our buyers, to our sellers is so important right now, right? There's a lot going on in the market that to share. And so I'm going to start off, I'm going to jump right into, let me share my screen with you guys, and we'll jump right into the market update. Okay, thumbs up, y'all can see the screen? Perfect, okay, great. So jumping in, we wanna go right into showings. Now, I'm gonna go over showings. I'm gonna go over some of the stats on new transactions from one week to the next. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on in the mortgage world and how that's gonna impact your business as well, because that's gonna be really important as well. So we know that we've been monitoring, we had a little bit of dip, we remember around the holiday, right? July 4th weekend, we had a little bit of dip in the showings. And yet we've still, again, within last week, the week of July 19, showings had continued to go up, right? It was, it jumped back up right after the holiday weekend. We know that that's gonna be a combination of a couple things. We've had a combination of the additional buyers that are in the market right now because getting pre-approved, the rates are so low right now, and that's given our clients more buying power, right? We had that pent-up demand that was released from when we weren't able to do showings. And then we have the third thing that's kind of factoring in, and that's the high competition is definitely causing people to see, even more properties they're having to go out and view because we have so much competition in the market right now. They're not necessarily potentially getting their offer accepted on some of their first choice properties, right? So we know that's making the amount of showings rise. Now, a couple things to note. So there was a slight, it still went up, and then over the past few days, there was a slight dip. Still, the showing rate is higher than it was the week prior. And this is just gonna be something that we wanna monitor. A couple things that could factor in. We were at the end of the month, right? We were at the end of the month. So sometimes we see a little bit of dip month ends, but also the other thing to keep an eye on is we've been anticipating when is this gonna even out and kind of stabilize a little bit, because we've been basically on this pretty much upward trajectory. So we're gonna have to stabilize a bit. So we'll keep an eye on that to see how that's gonna impact us within the next couple weeks. Now, going into the industry summary data trends for Los Angeles County, right? We're looking at that 8-week window pre-COVID. We wanna look at this COVID impact window, which is now about a 19-week window, right? That we talked a little bit about seasonality last week, and how some of the things that happen that are going to factor in is that we are in summer. So in addition to there being more mortgage applications, in addition to the limited inventory, we're also in those summer months, which is prime real estate buying time, right? So when we looked at last week, that 18-week average, the average home prices that hit Los Angeles County were $599, right? $599, and that brought our per week average to $575. That did not change this week. So the week of August the 3rd, right, the average for sale price is the same. It went up slightly last week. This week it's the same, right? So homes that are for sale in Los Angeles County right now, there hasn't been very much of a change. It's brought our per week average up, but it's not gonna be any type of significant change here. Now, median under contract price. So these are the homes that went under contract within the past week. The week of July 27, We ended the month at about a 645 median price point that week. This past week, it went up slightly, right? It went up slightly to about 650. So we're still seeing a lot of those multiple offer scenarios, right? We're still seeing, especially in that starter home and that entry-level home for first-time home buyers, we are seeing still a lot of competition on those properties, right? Multiple offer scenarios. And I'll note, this is something I talked with a couple of friends that are in different markets, not in California, right? But in some of our neighboring states, they're seeing something similar, right? So a lot of multiple offer situations that are happening around the country right now. I spoke to somebody in Arizona, and they're seeing homes fly off the shelves almost very, very quickly. Though they're not seeing quite as many, they're seeing multiple offer scenarios, but not quite as many offers as we're seeing in our market. So that's just something to note, right? Is that we want to make sure that we are calling the other agent if we're representing a buyer, that we are doing a lot of the negotiation, right, over the phone, that we are verifying if we're on the listing side, that we're also verifying the terms, and we know that we have a little bit more control over the terms of the offer because we have so many offers on the table. So again, make sure you are calling your clients, make sure you're managing those contingency periods, right? You're ordering the appraisal as early as possible, and working with the mortgage company to order the appraisal early. The other question that I've been getting a lot is we have a lot of clients that are out there that are wondering if it's in their best interest to get a second pre-approval, right? To get a secondary pre-approval. I'll note, if you're on the listing side, you may be in a place where you're requesting that as part of their approval, they're being cross-qualified by a preferred lender of your choice, right? Now with the mortgage on the buyer side as well, it might be in their interest to potentially have a secondary pre-approval or cross-qualification. Not to say that they're going to switch mortgages, right? But because that might make them a more attractive buyer, because they have a secondary mortgage in case one was to not work out, right? There's already a second option in place. So just one note to kind of keep an eye on there. And then I see a question. The average median price of sold homes pre and post COVID. Yes, we will definitely look at that. We'll make sure to add that piece as well. One of the notes, so we went through for sale, right? We're looking at our under contract. Now let's look at total inventory sold. The week of July 27th, we had 943 homes that hit the market, right? This past week, we had 1,127 homes that hit the market. That is a significant jump. We've also moved into that 1,000 plus territory, which is good for a couple notes. So we've been kind of hovering around this 900 place marker, where we beat that total inventory sold during that pre-COVID period. We're seeing that jump, which makes sense because we're in that end of July, early August time frame, where we're seeing that increase in homes sold. So we want to keep an eye to see if this kind of stays in that 1,000 marker around here. And then with new inventory that hit the market, the week of July 27th, we had 1,243 homes that hit the market. This month, this past week in Los Angeles County, 1,255 homes that hit the market. This total inventory sold is going to be important for a couple reasons. One, we're past that 1,000 marker, right? Which is where we should anticipate being when we're in these kind of summer months. But the second thing that's going to be really important here is the total inventory sold and new inventory hitting the market is matching up a little bit more, right? We want to keep an eye on the amount of inventory that's available within the market to really see if we've been propelled further into a seller's market. So it's about supply and demand, right? Generally, in a seller's market, we have less than 5 months of inventory on the market, right? Less than 5 months of inventory. we've stayed there, and yet the inventory has tightened up even more, right? The inventory has continued to tighten up with homes selling faster, right? With homes selling faster. So we want to keep an eye on that, because that's going to impact a couple things. The for sale price is the same. Under contract price has gone up a little bit. So we're still seeing that competition in the market, but we're also seeing a lot of these buyers entering the market. I want to pop over because there's a couple other stats that I wanted to share with you that I think are really important. And this is going to be from the mortgage, from Black Knight's Mortgage Monitor. When we look at the rates and we start looking at historically what had happened from a home price perspective, right? We know that for the past couple of years, right, home prices have consistently gone up month over month. In fact, if we look at the data, right, for 97 consecutive months, home prices consistently went up. Home prices consistently went up. What that caused issues with, when you look at limited inventory, right? When you look at limited inventory and rising home prices, that causes issues of affordability. However, because of the record low mortgage rates, July has made the average priced home the most affordable since 2016, right? So what does that mean for our buyers? Right now, buying power is up. Buying power is up. So we know that when mortgages go down, purchasing power goes up, because for the same payment amount, right, the same payment amount, your client gains additional purchasing power. If mortgage rates go up, they lose purchasing power, because more of that same payment amount is applied towards interest, right? So what we know right now is that buying power for those shopping for a home is up about 10% year over year. Based on the mortgage rates right now, right? Home buyers on average around the nation are able to afford $32,000 worth of more home than they could 1 year ago, right? With the same payment amount, on average, right? The reason that this is important is because we want to make sure that we're having conversations with those clients. Now you got two sides here, right? But the buyers, the ones that are saying, hey, I think I want to wait, right? Hey, I think I want to wait. Is that a question of their ability to buy, right? Are they able to make a purchase? Do they have the credit and they're just not willing because they're not ready, because they have that fear, they're nervous, right? Or is it a question of more of the motivation? To repeat that stat on buying power, so I want to know, right? Home prices rose for 97 consecutive months, with July's record low mortgage rates making the average priced home the most affordable it's been since 2016. Buying power for those shopping for a home is up about 10% year over year, right? Which gives them on average, right, and this is across the nation, $32,000 more buying power than a year ago, than 1 year ago, keeping the mortgage payments the same, right? Keeping the mortgage payments the same. In fact, the 25 largest markets, we're seeing the strongest affordability in over 2 years, right? The strongest affordability in over 2 years. Affordability has been a big issue, right? Affordability has been a big issue in the last few months, because you're faced with individuals who are, the house prices have been so high, and yet getting approved for a certain amount may have been a little bit more difficult. And yet right now is a amazing opportunity for your buyers to get into the market, right? An amazing opportunity to talk to your clients about the fact that where they've been waiting because they're thinking, hey, what if home prices fall? We're not seeing home prices go down, right? We're not seeing home prices go down right now. They've consistently and continue to go up or stay fairly stable, right, and stay fairly stable, we're seeing more competition once they're actually in the market and competing, and yet they have more buying power now, right? If interest rates go up, if they wait, they're going to lose that buying power because they're thinking, they're looking into the crystal ball and think that the home prices are going to go down at the same rate that interest rates go up, right? And yet we know right now affordability is the strongest that it's been in 2 years. Right now is the time to call all of your buyers, right? And again, the thing I want you to realize here is that this has to do with whether they're willing, ready, and able. So also understand when you're talking to your clients, the difference between an objection and a condition. A condition is, I lost my job, I can't get pre-approved right now, I don't have stable income, I don't have credit, and I don't have the ability to repair my credit right now, right? Those are conditions. Objections are, I don't know what's gonna happen in the market, I'm waiting for that crystal ball moment, right? In which case, it's your job to educate them about the market as it exists right now, right? As it exists right now. That's going to be really important because it's really elevating that buying power. And then on the flip side of that, for your sellers, right? For your sellers, with demand at that all-time high, where we're kind of in that perfect combination of things right now, right? Where buying power is high, and yet prices have not dropped because there's still a lot of demand. There's still a lot of competition in the market, right? What we are seeing is pricing at market or just under market to create almost this buying frenzy, right? The auction style frenzy, so that we're getting these multiple offer situations. Right now is a great time to be going on those listing appointments, right? And talking to your clients about the demand in the market that exists for them right now, right? That's going to be really important. I'm going to share this article as well to kind of know that is going to share a little bit more of these mortgage stats that are going to be really important as well. That way, if you want to share that, you can. Now, it's really interesting because we're kind of seeing a tale of two markets. Right, we're kind of seeing a tale of two markets. We've been talking about this on the national call as well, because it's kind of two stories that we're seeing out in the media, out in everything that's going on. One is we have this almost perfect storm for these well-qualified buyers, those that have job stability, that can take advantage of the mortgage rates as it exists right now, right? We've got this great buying market. And also for the sellers, a great opportunity for them because they're still able to get the biggest bang for their buck, right? They're able to get a great value for their home. And yet what we're also seeing on the flip side of that, right, is record level of job losses that are still weighing on housing and on the economy. You also have, we also have the highest number of serious delinquencies, so those that are 90 days or more from a delinquency perspective, right? So we kind of have this tale of two markets, right? Great opportunity for stable buyers, and also sellers that unfortunately some of them may be forced into the sale, right? Maybe forced into the sale sooner rather than later, who might be prepping for, hey, what do I do next? What is the different options? So what I want you to take away from that is right now is the time that you need to be talking with your clients, right? And you need to be educated on what's happening in the market. And I'll share these articles because I think it's really important for us to take a look at this, is that we have opportunity here to help our buyers, right? And we have opportunity to help our sellers, both of which are being impacted by this market, right? Sellers, some of which may need to downsize or find alternatives so that they can decrease their payments, right? And have an opportunity to sell in a high demand market. And for our buyers, some of whom it's just time to take advantage of this perfect storm that a lot of people have been waiting for, right? Of the low interest rates, and not miss the opportunity that exists for them right now, right? Is that you have the chance right now to help your buyers to create equity, to start earning equity, and for your sellers to either protect their equity by helping them figure out repayment options, right? Or to help them get their home on the market so they don't end up in a bad situation and they still get the most value for their home possible. So a lot to keep an eye out there, right? A lot to keep an eye out there. And I know you guys are on the forbearance conversation in the morning. That script that Diego is going over is so important, right? It's so important that we're talking to our clients about that we're getting ahead of that conversation, right? That we're getting ahead of that conversation and we're working with our databases and we're working with the individuals in our network to walk them through that forbearance conversation to grow our listing pipeline while still continuing to service our buyers, right? So don't miss the opportunity to lead generate for listings while you work on your buyers. It's that combination to be able to work on them together, and do not take your foot off the gas pedal when it comes to lead generation right now, right? It's possible that some of you are getting a lot more calls coming out of your database from people that want to take advantage of what's happening in the market right now. And what do we know referrals to be? Referrals are passive lead receiving, right? Referrals, when they're calling us, the sign calls, that's lead receiving. Do not take your foot off the pedal of lead generating, right? And prospecting, because that piece is going to give you the opportunity to build a really solid pipeline. And we know the market share that you gain now during a pandemic, during a shift, is the market share that you will not give up later, right? That you will not give up later. So it's just important to kind of service all the clients on that. A couple things I wanted to note on the calendar. So I know we're getting up a little earlier, right? So that we can make sure that we're on the calls in the morning. We have a mastermind on the schedule for tomorrow, right? That Brandy's going to be leading. We have a weekly mastermind. The goal is really to be able to bring ideas, bring conversation points, but also a couple different things. If you want to talk about conversion, right? And conversion is a challenge, bring that to the mastermind, right? If you want to talk about best practices for getting your offers accepted, bring it to the mastermind. If you want to ask questions about, hey, this is the challenge that I'm having and I want to know how this is being solved, bring it to the mastermind, right? Those are going to be some of the conversation pieces that we want to know. The other thing that I want to bring out for tomorrow, Wealth Building Wednesdays. So historically, the company, Keller Williams, used to do something called Wealth Building Wednesdays, where there was training around building wealth in the long term, right? And we know there's different ways to build wealth, but wealth is around building passive income. Moving forward, every other week on Wednesdays, nationally, one of the live stream trainings is going to be specifically around building wealth, right? About building wealth. They're going to talk about the ideology behind it, so where our mindset needs to be, right? But also, what are some of the practices that you can put in place to build wealth? Because in this business of real estate, right, we should not just be worried about how are we building our clients' wealth, right? That's part of our job, is that we support our clients in building their own wealth, but also what are we putting in place to build our own wealth? What does that look like, right? And we're going to have some phenomenal individuals throughout the company that are sharing. So make sure to keep an eye on that. The Wealth Building Wednesdays, that's the 1 o'clock live stream on Wednesdays as well, right? That's going to be going on Wednesdays as well. And then I know some of you are starting Bold today, right? So make sure to keep on the calendar with the Bold schedule as well. And then another announcement, MegaCam, if you have not registered, early bird pricing ends this week, right? At the end of the week, they extended it 1 week. I highly recommend making sure you are enrolled in MegaCam. We're hearing some phenomenal things that are coming out of what they're doing for MegaCam. And trust me when I say you do not want to miss it. I've been registered for over a month, right? It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal event. If you have questions around that, definitely make sure to reach out to us as well. Oh, and one other note, I know the technology class that's usually in the afternoon, I believe that's changed to a morning session. So keep an eye on that for the calendar as well. So a lot of stuff that's on the calendar right now that I wanted to make sure to share with you, because there's going to be a lot going on, and we're adding new training, and we're trying to keep it fresh for you guys. We also will have some stuff starting up. Most likely it'll start next week around the pre-foreclosure training. We will release that calendar, that updated information as soon as we have it as well. So a lot of stuff on the calendar, but I know that you guys are really working at taking advantage of the market that we're in right now. Your clients need you more than ever, right? Your clients need you more than ever right now. The conversations that you're having with your clients are incredibly important, because you have the power to help change their lives, right? By helping them create a legacy and creating their own wealth, helping them protect their wealth and their equity, and helping them protect their financial reputation, right? If they're in a bad situation. Go out, talk to your clients, make it an absolutely phenomenal day, and I will talk with you soon. Happy Tuesday.